Good morning. If you're watching this as a rerun and not live, you can skip ahead 25 minutes. Hey, just getting hooked up for the stations. Anybody else that wants to BS? And whatnot. Well, going through a few things. I'm live on YouTube. Ron Ness is going to join me today. Here we go. Let me know if there's somebody watching from Williston. I have a question. Need them to look at something in Williston for me if you're up in that area. Not like today or anything, but get in touch with me. I had to admit, I accidentally slept through all of my alarms last night for checking heifers. I'll show you. Let's see here. 12:22, 1:52, 4:30, even the 5 o'clock. I caught it on the second, like the 5:15. I slept through every damn one of them. So there you go. There you have it. Well, let's get this baby rock and rolling here. Let's see what's going on. Yellowstone. There we go. What am I getting from Yellowstone? What the hell is that? Where'd that email go? Yeah. Oh, got it. Not the movie. It's the Yellowstone Cattle Incorporated. So there you go. Is this audio coming through? Anybody there? Hello? Is this thing on? Here's to you. Here's to me. COVID. Bye-bye. Thanks, Todd. Thank you. Appreciate it. I got people watch, but nobody's letting me know what's going on here. Oh, yeah. We got to come up with a name for this. What's a good name for Remy Martin and ivermectin? I know they got shots called like Chuck Norris and duck farts and all that kind of stuff. That would be a good name for this one. Cheers, by the way. Here's to ivermectin. Hey, Greg, good to have you on YouTube, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Is it Revimectin? Maybe, yeah. I like it. So people that don't know, Remy Martin, cognac, baby. Only the fine stuff in the mornings. Noramectin, which is basically ivermectin, just a brand. Look at there. all through COVID. That's how much I've used for the whole entire bottle. Tell you, one of these babies can set up the family for a long damn time. Remy Mectin. Tell you this. No ticks during the blizzard, so I hope everybody's happy there was no ticks. Excuse me. The branch ain't gonna kill me. The old Remy Mectin might kill me. Who knows? God here. Oh, Todd, excuse me. Good grief. Let me do this. Morning, Eric. Todd, just a heads up. I was digging dead calves yesterday. I'll do it again today, but I got the Pioneer things. I'll do them after my radio show here. So just to give you a heads up, watch for those coming your way. I lost track of time. I lost track of days. Good grief. But, yeah. 10-4. Gotcha. Okay. Ultimate Outdoors. Good morning. Hope it's been a tough one. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Waylon, morning again. The hard thing is, so it's Saturday. Yeah, I got it. the hard so I have winter apparel on my calves. And time check. Good idea. I'll do it here shortly. 6:54:30 coming up here in a bit. But anyway, with the winter apparel on my insurance, I have to have photographic proof of every one of them, and that's sometimes hard to find under snowbanks. 6:54:30 in check. 6:54:30. So anyway, that's the tough part. It's one thing, but when you go out and you start digging around your pastures and finding all this stuff. What's even worse is yesterday I was cleaning corrals, or that one little corral, and you just start scooping snow and you start pushing and dumping it and pushing, dumping it, and you're like, really? There's a calf in there? I mean, I had no idea there was even one under there. That's the tough part. However, coyotes are thick. They're out this morning, man. It's the wind's going to be picking up today, but it's still out this morning. If you watch my Facebook Live, there was no wind. Rare occasion. So yeah, the coyotes are out heavy this morning. I got a message about doing a follow-up check or follow-up show on my egg show. The aftermath of what's going to happen to these calves afterwards. And I will get I actually got a whole bunch of articles that were sent to me. I'll try to get a veterinarian or somebody on that can help out with that. Let's call Mr. Ness here. See how he's doing. Remember the old school radio, Todd, man, when you used to do dial tones? Beep, 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 that's the good stuff. Here's the thing about calving in May.
Good morning.
Morning, Ron. I'm responding to a YouTube thing here right now. They said it's time for me to start calving in May. Here's the thing about calving in May is so I don't produce enough feed to background any calves or anything in my place. So if I calve in May and sell in November, the calves are only going to be like 350 to 400 pounds. So that's the other issue I'm having. But I do have a plan. I have a plan, Ron. I have an idea.
Yes.
I might look into raising the top quality bred heifers and sell bred heifers. It's something I'm looking at. So those of you that have ideas, throw it at me. If you think that's a silly idea, let it go. But
I've actually have I know a guy doing that, I believe.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Forward me his information if you would. I wouldn't mind bending an ear on somebody that's already currently doing it.
Okay.
Paul at KGFX and Pier, locked in, ready to go. Morning, Paul. Thanks for texting. Appreciate that. One of the best. So I like the old school radio stuff here, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yep.
There's something to be said, especially during winter blizzards and what a lot of people went through this week. There was a lot of radio stations that just turned it on satellite.
Oh yeah, really?
They didn't do nothing, not a thing.
Oh, this is the time.
This is where it's at, yeah. And so the stations that stayed on air and didn't go satellite and were actually live, you got to remember the people going in and. It sucks finding dead calves here, but I remember the storm in 1997. I was doing morning show in Bowman. I was out shoveling. I was living in a basement apartment. I had to shovel my way out of the basement and then shovel my way into the radio station. I was late getting on the air, but at least we were on the air.
Right.
Todd Mitchell says Phil himself lived at the station. Now but there's a difference because you guys is the iHeart Studios. You guys actually have a kitchen and all that kind of stuff. The old radio stations didn't have that, but it still sucks. So thanks, Todd. Phil's retired. Did you hear Phil's retiring?
I did hear that.
What the hell?
I don't know what I'm going to do when I go to do Scott's show there in the morning.
It's like a
little preview with Phil is just one of those classic radio moments, right? He just rolls off the top of his tongue like nothing I've ever seen before.
The Phil Parker is an icon, and people should. People in the radio listening to his show learn a lot. He's the old school. Goes home, works on his own bits. He has his own voices. It's just crazy. It's just unbelievable. So. Scott, good morning. How is everybody faring? Well, we're on the right side of the dirt this morning.
Well, we're going to find out here in about 7 minutes. We're going to ask everybody to send in their thoughts and what's happening out on their on their part of the world, and we'll see.
That's right.
Pretty crusty. It's pretty crusty out there this morning, Scott. I don't know.
There's some moisture in the snow. That's good. We needed that. I'm going to do a time check here for all the stations real quick, Ron. 7:00 or 8:00 Central Time on Mark. So 6 minutes to air time on the radio side. But yeah, Coyotes are healthy as hell this year. And I attribute it to a couple of things. We'll talk about this on the radio side of things too. But first off, they had a lot of white-tailed deer that they got to eat. And I mean a lot. So they were going into the fall-winter side. The winter wasn't overly tough for them. And, a couple of cold spells here and there. But now that the deer are gone and there's a lot of dead calves out in the country, let me tell you, they're getting the taste of cattle right now. Yeah. And I really, really, really wish that we could get in black print on the North Dakota side what it means, any means possible to protect your herd. I would like those means written out because I would love to go out at night when the coyotes are coming in and sneaking into the calf pasture with my thermal scope and go hunt them. But right now that I don't know if that's in any means possible or if I'm going to get caught and they're just going to throw me in the hoosh cow.
Why can't you hunt coyotes during night this time of year?
Because the night vision and thermal is done. It starts after deer season and it ends March 15th. It ends.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they put March 15th as a date for some reason. Coyote season is open year round, right?
Yeah.
But they put a date of March 15th that you cannot. That's when you stop. And I'm like, well, but we don't start calving until April 1st.
When did it open?
Right after deer season is when they open it. Yeah.
So they think you're going to be out shooting the turkey, or what else is open this time?
No clue. No idea.
That's why they don't. That's why they don't do it.
I have no idea. But
Yeah, I would say
that needs to
extend
get changed
through calving season for certain. Absolutely.
Finish it in like June. Okay, June 1st.
Yeah.
Put a June 1st cutoff or something. I mean, but in the heart of I wouldn't say everybody. There's a lot of people that calve in January, February, March. I mean, a lot of production guys. I get that, but a lot of commercial guys. I mean, we're April guys, so I don't understand that. But anyway, that needs
That'll
to
be a
be
good
fixed.
discussion for the show.
It does, yeah.
That can happen.
So I mean, on
that's
the other
something you can fix. You can't fix when to make the snow stop.
No, yeah, that we can fix. You know, and we tried moving it back and denied.
Yeah,
but
now you have. I would think that the any means possible to protect your herd would certainly qualify at this point.
I know, but I'd really, really like it to be in black ink.
Yeah.
Ultimate Outdoors. Have you ever asked a Game and Fish why? Yes. And they said that they picked March 15th date because that's the date that all the ice houses have to be moved off of the ice. That's what they gave me as I said. And even when we went to the legislature and tried to fight this, and I know Jesse Flath, he's watching. Hopefully he's up, and he actually went to the legislature, tried to fight to extend the days on this. Because right now, if somebody wants to come and help Scott Bachmeyer, they got to get a signed permission slip from the Game and Fish in order to come help me to be able to do like night watches or whatever like that for coyotes. So, yeah, I have asked. That was what they told me. And we went to the legislature about it. And it was defeated by the East. I don't know why. But anyway, 70400 coming up. Station 70400 in 70400 on Mark. So there you go. How's the rest of the family doing, Ron?
We're doing okay. Made it home. I was in Denver on Monday, which was likely a poor choice, but you know how that goes. You got to do what you got to do, and then
your job.
Tried to get to Minneapolis to get home, and then finally got home yesterday afternoon about 4:00. So been sitting in Minneapolis, then Fargo for 2 days, and waiting for that interstate to open. So, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, I was always safe. Daughter followed me home, so it was good. We did just fine. Can't complain.
Good.
Really curious about what people are seeing out there and how they fared on the cattle, and where's the wildlife go, and then don't the coyotes go there? So
yeah.
It's pretty tough. Pretty tough in our backyard. You know, it's pretty tough to get around.
Yeah.
So
those animals are tough, man. Those animals are tough.
They are tough.
But the pheasant was what I kind of wondering about the pheasants right now, because
I am too.
That was an unexpected storm for those for this time of year.
When the habitat gets blown in, and then so I don't know if your fields. I'm a little interested if some of your fields blew open, or if they're just stone covered.
Some are both. You know,
as long as you have some of those fields open, you know, like as soon as that weather dropped in, get out there, because they were going in healthy. So we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yep. Stand by. Stations, we're going to go silent here for the last 20 some seconds here. Stand by. We're starting in a few seconds. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, your host here for the next hour, the fastest hour in outdoor industry radio talk show, live and local, all across the Dakota Territory. We consider everybody a neighbor. KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota, KOLY in Mobert, South Dakota. We have K-Fire 550, the voice of the Northern Plains, right here in Bismarck, Mandan, Minot, KCJB, where I cut my teeth on radio, and also KLTC, the voice of the West in Dickinson. Also on my live YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Good to have you along there as well. A few announcements as we get rolling through this morning. The Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch annual production sale has been moved to the a week later, from the April 22nd to the 29th at the Bowman Auction Market. And the Lee Angus Ranch Sale date is now moved to May 10th. So just a heads up if you're looking for a couple more bulls. Now, this storm that came through dropped a lot of heavy moisture. I mean, there's a lot of snow out there, and we'll see what happens. But Ron Ness here joins me, and there's a lot of moisture out there, and I think people are going to be a little bit more kind of looking at possibly having some green grass in their pastures and at least a little reprieve from the drought that we're going into this year before this blizzard here. So maybe I think people are going to be looking at, keeping their cow herds if we're going to have some moisture on the ground, Ron.
Well, Scott, thanks for having me on this morning. And I think you're exactly right. And, for people that haven't been to Western North Dakota and been out across that part of the state, we had to have moisture. And we've been hoping, begging, praying, everything possible for almost a year now. And we don't get to decide which way it comes, right? And we don't get to decide when the snow starts or when it stops or whether it just has a nice gentle rain for us. But I think at the end of the day, I saw yesterday on the national news forest fires again in Colorado, Utah.
Yeah,
we had to have moisture, or else you were gonna have to make even tougher decisions with your cattle and everyone else. And across from an outdoor standpoint, the wildlife standpoint, we needed that moisture for the critters as well. So had to come. Unfortunate that it had to come with such a fury, but we've got it now. So. Hope it makes that grass grow green for you, Scotty.
I do too. Ron Ness is the president of the North Dakota Petroleum Council. Joins me here this morning on Dakota Prairie Outdoors, and I'm already getting text messages, people wanting to talk a little bit about this and what we're going to be seeing for wildlife. If you if you want to chime in here, you can do it a few different ways. You can message me via the YouTube channel. You can call live and talk to us on air, 888-932-5682. That's 888-9-DAKOTA, 932-5682. Toll-free call. Or you can text message me, 701-425-6651. And again, 701-425-6651. And before we get to a couple of these text messages here, Ron, I got to ask you, man, what's up with the gas prices? Is this where we're looking at staying here for a while, or what's the scoop going on here? I mean, this is getting a little bit out of hand because I didn't plan for this high a diesel expense in my budget for ranching this year.
Yeah, certainly gas prices are up, Scott, right? So however, I would say that aren't we fortunate to have energy this week and where we are and what you need to move that snow. And I think that's really the great discussion that has to happen. We've seen what's happened with energy prices, and you can blame Ukraine, but we've done it to ourselves right here in America. As you see coal plants shut down, and you see just an all-out attack on fossil fuels. And at the end of the day, I don't know about, you needed energy pretty bad every minute of every day out there, didn't you? Fortunately, those power lines didn't go down, and that coal-fired electricity was able to be provided for you. But we have to have all of the energy sources we have running at full throttle in this country. And for some crazy reason, we have just decided to really try and just run fossil fuels out of business. And you think about that incredible resource that we have underneath the ground in North Dakota and how important it is in weeks like this and every other day. So that's why fossil fuel prices are on the increase. Along with everything else, we are trying to focus on renewables, and we're doing everything we can to demonize and discourage the investment into fossil fuels. And it's been effective, I have to say that. So
yeah. And is it reflecting, the gas prices at the pump? Is it reflecting what the barrel of oil is doing out in the oil patch right now?
Yes, it is actually. Oil prices are strong. The reality is, though, that the policies in place have made it difficult to ramp up. We're hoping to find more workers that want to come, but we also have big supply chain issues, and they have pushed us for 15 months to this point of less investment. So you don't all of a sudden just decide you're going to, double your herd size, right, Scott?
Yeah.
You got to take a lot of planning, a lot of time, and you have preparations, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we should make more oil today. No, you've been discouraging it for 15 months now. The investment left. A lot of the people that we needed have moved on, and now all of a sudden we don't just turn the ship around. It's going to take a while, and it's going to take policies that encourage that and support that across the entire country. And you look at Germany. I know gasoline prices in Canada are over $7, and you look in Germany, and natural gas prices are 2 or 3 times what we're paying here, because they decided they were going to go away from fossil fuels, all renewables, and now, of course, they are really paying the price. So we just can't let that happen in this country.
Is this where we're headed? Are we headed to $6-7? I mean, we're not far away.
No, we have
California's already there. Yeah.
We have another supply disruption. Well, California has chosen that path for themselves, much like Europe did. They have chosen to add costs to energy and add. Canada just put on a carbon tax, by the way. So when you go to the pump, you get to pay an extra 15%, so they can pay. You can pay for your carbon sins. So it's just it's incredible where we're going and what we've done and what energy means to the. We've become so energy spoiled in this country, and you look at places in the world where they're still cooking. They're still cooking with dung and wood and for their daily meals in their huts. What's the value of energy to them? And I'm not convinced that carbon is as bad as somehow they've made it out to be, because it seems to me we breathe it every day. It makes those plant animals grow.
I know.
Plants grow.
Yeah. Well, it's necessary for life is to have this carbon, and all of a sudden they want to sequester everything about it. I just don't get it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't either. I think people across this country, and you look at, I saw some data this week on batteries and lithium and the intensive mining it takes to get a little bit of lithium versus all of this coal that we have. And then all of a sudden there's no place you don't recycle restored lithium batteries, right? They go in a big landfill. And by the way, China controls 80% of the lithium in the world. We have virtually none in America. And what we do have, ironically, you get a kick out of this, it's probably on public lands somewhere in the West. They don't even want you to put cows on public lands, and we're going to go in there and mine lithium.
Yeah, exactly. And you've seen a lithium mine is just disruptive. I mean, it's just unbelievable. We're going to keep talking about this on the second side of this break here. Ron Ness, the president of the North Dakota Petroleum Council, is my guest here this morning on Dakota Prairie Outdoors. And we'll get to the outdoor side of things. And this is outdoors. I mean, energy, hunting, everything goes together, what we're doing here in life in the Dakota Territory. And that's why we're here doing it and standing up for what we're doing. We'll continue on the other side. If you'd like to chime in, 888-932-5682 is the number, 888-932-5682. Or you can text message me at 701-425-6651. We'll be back with more Dakota Prairie Outdoors coming up your way on all these radio stations right after these messages. Cattle producers, if you need top quality bulls that are sure-footed and cover females, you need to be in the seats for the Lee Angus Ranch Production Sale, moved to Tuesday, May 10th, 1 p.m. at the Bowman Auction Market. 44 performance-tested, registered yearling Angus bulls. Sires like Sit Stellar, KG Justified, and HA Prime Cut. Videos can be viewed at DV Auction or LeeAngusRanch.com. Add growth and length to your calves while keeping calving ease. The Lee Angus Ranch Annual Bull Sale, Tuesday, May 10th at the Bowman Auction Market.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank, an honor we take great pride in. And our customer satisfaction has always been our most important goal. We've gone along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. From remote deposit options to online mortgage applications, we are happy to serve you wherever you are. Learn more at DakotaCommunityBank.com. That's DakotaCommunityBank.com.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
The Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch invites you to Bowman, North Dakota, Friday, April 29th for their annual production sale. 70 head of bulls and 45 head of commercial heifers. Sires include the proven Medrock Beaver Creek, SAV Resource, Sits Resilient, and many others. You can bid online at frontierlivesale.com. It's not just about pounds, it's about efficient pounds. Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch, annual production sale, Friday, April 29th at Bowman Auction Market. For more information, go to medicinerocksranch.com or find them on Facebook. Pfeiffer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pfeiffer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy. For more information or land updates, go to pfeifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number 1 in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
Road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down, and when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, all across the Dakota Territory here. And a reminder, Lee Angus Ranch, their annual production sale has been moved to May 10th. And also the Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch out of Ekalaka, Montana, has moved their sale to April 29th. Just backed up a week on that one as well. Ron Ness, the president of the North Dakota Petroleum Council, is my guest here today. And you know, we were talking energy, Ron, and how it goes well. Look at how much energy is needed to dig out of this storm right now. I mean, no matter where we're at, we need fuel. We need those big equipment. You know, we need that right now. You said you're still blocked in at your place.
Yeah, the snowplows in Bismarck have not reached my home yet, so yeah. It's pretty tough getting out of here. So, Scott, I'm really curious from the listeners what they're seeing in terms of loss of their calves and stuff, but more importantly to me and this show, I guess, is are the critters going to survive in southwestern North Dakota? Are the pheasants and the deer, and certainly good time to be out there coyote hunting, as we were discussing, to just really try and save those deer, because coyotes have the advantage right now.
Absolutely, they have the advantage. You know, I have one text message came in. It says, I am seeing a few pheasants here and there, more than I thought we would see after this storm. He said the shelter belts are deep in snow, anything in them. He's buried right now. And that's one thing a guy's got to think. There was so much wind and so much snow at one time. You have to wonder. I mean, these pheasants, if they hunker down in these trees, and especially in the bullberry bushes, like out of my place, I don't have a lot. I said I have one pheasant, but the grouse, I'm seeing more grouse now than I've ever seen. And so, I mean, these animals are tough out there. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Well, those grouse are North Dakota tough, and of course pheasants. I have the same thoughts. You look at a lot of tree rows, a lot of draws, and those things, and that wind just whipped around that snow and it filled those draws, and that's where they were going to be. Other than that, they ought to be in your cattle herd because that's the only place they probably have some easy pickings and some dry ground.
Well, and some food too. Like I was telling you, I'm feeding some corn silage bales. And that one pheasant, he's in there with all the cows and the baby calves picking out of that corn. So they definitely hardy animals. But even I mean, we had such a loss in white-tailed deer in my area. I still haven't seen any white-tailed deer, but I'm sure they recoup pretty quickly. But when it comes to the predator side, right now with as deep as snow as it is out here, right, and a lot of those snow banks are 8-10 foot drifts. These coyotes can skim right over the top, and the deer are going to be sinking down in there. So I wonder if that's going to affect some of the numbers as we go into the rest of the spring.
Scott, how did your calves survive?
Not awesome. It's been a pretty tough loss at my place. So I'm still digging out. I'm still finding more and more every day, and trying to document what I can for insurance purposes and the whole works. So I've had a tough one. There's no doubt. I know some people have a lot worse than I do, but as percentages go, I'm right up there with some of the other ones too. So not awesome. But I just got a text message, Ron. He said maybe this will make your day here. He just found sheds of a bull elk that's been with his cows all winter. And it's an impressive set of antlers right here. I'll show the people on YouTube. That's a heavy, big set of elk antlers. And right now, and I'll tell you, Ron, right now, if anybody's looking at shed hunting, the elk all have not dropped yet. Just a heads up. So if you're going out elk shed hunting, not all of them have dropped just yet. So, but maybe this storm might have helped with that. But that's a big game. That's a big thing. Some places they have shed hunting seasons. In Wyoming, you can't shed hunt. You can only shed hunt during certain times.
Well, Scott, we were talking about trees a little bit. The North Dakota Petroleum Foundation has had a tree planting program. I believe this is our 4th year now. We planted about 105,000 trees, and this year we've got 61,000 trees that are going to go in the ground for farmers and ranchers like yourself. It's a self-directed program. We provide the trees and some advice, and you get the crew to put them in the ground. And it's I think we're booked out through 2023, and certainly we knew we needed some moisture this year because people get pretty skittish on putting trees in when there hasn't been any moisture. But I always encourage people, you don't know when the moisture is going to come, so get the trees in the ground. So this is going to be a pretty big program. Not sure what this will do in terms of those trees getting harvested up in town or North Dakota, but at least we're going to be putting a whole bunch of trees in the ground, and probably likely now in the month of May.
So why don't more people do the tree planting instead of worrying about a carbon pipeline?
Well, that's ironically, we didn't start it for that purpose, but I think that down the road, this has a chance to become something that's people want to go out and save themselves from their carbon woes. Hey, support a tree program, right?
Exactly.
Support some trees out at Scott Bachmeyer's place.
That's right.
Here's where you write a check, North Dakota Petroleum Foundation, and you can sponsor all the trees you want. And we're certainly seeing that with our companies, and that's how we're able to do it. We match a Outdoor Heritage Fund grant, and it's been growing in popularity every year. And we've got we're ultimately going to probably need another person to plant trees. We've got a guy out of Watford City this year that's going to do a lot of our tree plantings. We're trying to get more of them in the west and the south. So we've got a few others, but it's just been a great program. And weather like this is why we need habitat and grass and trees, and in farms and ranches and cattle herds, and to get these critters through this tough North Dakota winter. So this is something that I'm pretty proud of what we've been able to do, and it's really just a benefit to the landowner is what it really is.
It's amazing what trees do. I mean, you've been out to my place, and that one Cedar Canyon that I took you guys around and looked. I mean, it's deep and it's thick full of cedar trees. And when it comes to storms like this, I can guarantee if you and I were to walk down that, I bet that there's trails of every animal that's out there trying to keep out of the storm, and it's because of those trees that they do that. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Now, do you also give certain species for different areas? I know.
That's one thing you learn about when you start planting trees. So you really have to know the, obviously the soil types and the matches of the trees. But I think it's more important to understand, down at my place, Southwest Mandan, if you put a deciduous tree in there, the last 10 years, it's just gotten eaten by all the deer we had. Cedars and junipers will grow, and we don't have one of the other fruit trees or anything that will grow. So you've got to have them the right in the really protected from, make sure they get some moisture and all of those things. But it's very dependent upon the type of wildlife that are going to be using them, the places that you put them in. Like you said, in your big creek there, the big blocks are always better. So you see a lot of two rows of trees, and they get filled up really quick in weather like this. But of course, any habitat's better than no habitat. So
that's right. I remember back in the day when the Russian olive was such a big thing to plant because it was really fast growing, and now it's considered a noxious weed or something like that. But
I love Russian olives.
I know they're still all over.
I just had this discussion with a landowner yesterday. I said, they don't allow you to plant them anymore. I love those things because what they they branch out, and the pheasants can feed under them, and the hawks and the critters don't want to go down there after them, and yet they can. You know how pheasants want to be out in the open when they're feeding.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah. So
well, Ron, real quick here, I got a text message. My first year on the ranch here was 1977, which was the nastiest winter, and blizzards seemed like for a weekly event. Started planting shelter belts. He said it paid off numerous times on his place.
Well, certainly as a prairie in North Dakota, I think we look what our ancestors did here, and all the farmsteads where you're at and everywhere else. There weren't many trees here, and I think that we know that with the blowing snow, the drifting, the erosion, all of those things, that we need shelter belts for those purposes. But for the wildlife and the habitat that you provide in between those tree rows and under those big trees, it's essential. So glad that we're able to engage in that. And of course, there are other groups that plant trees as well, but we're planting about as many as anybody right now.
61,000 is what you said, right? 61,000 trees this year.
61,000 trees this year, and many of them in the west and the south this year. More so probably than it's been so dry. We've kind of been north and east of Bismarck quite a bit, and some south and west, but this year a lot of them west.
You bet. We'll be back on the second half of the program, talk more on the wildlife side of things right here on Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Cattle producers, if you need top quality bulls that are sure-footed and cover females, you need to be in the seats for the Lee Angus Ranch Production Sale, moved to Tuesday, May 10th, 1 p.m. at the Bowman Auction Market. 44 performance-tested, registered yearling Angus bulls. Sires like Sit Stellar, KG Justified, and HA Prime Cut. Videos can be viewed at DV Auction or LeeAngusRanch.com. Add growth and length to your calves while keeping calving ease. The Lee Angus Ranch Annual Bull Sale, Tuesday, May 10th at the Bowman Auction Market.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank, an honor we take great pride in. And our customer satisfaction has always been our most important goal. We've gone along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. From remote deposit options to online mortgage applications, we are happy to serve you wherever you are. Learn more at dakotacommunitybank.com. That's dakotacommunitybank.com.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
The Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch invites you to Bowman, North Dakota, Friday, April 29th for their annual production sale. 70 head of bulls and 45 head of commercial heifers. Sires include the proven Medrock Beaver Creek, SAV Resource, Sits Resilient, and many others. You can bid online at frontierlivesale.com. It's not just about pounds, it's about efficient pounds. Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch, annual production sale, Friday, April 29th at Bowman Auction Market. For more information, go to medicinerocksranch.com or find them on Facebook.
Piper's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Piper's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number one in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
Don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition all across the Dakota Territory here this morning. And into the second half of the program here. If you want to call in, feel free. 888-932-5682. That's 888-932-5682. And when you do that, you're automatically put on hold, and we'll get to your call. Just like we're going here. Ron Ness from the North Dakota Petroleum Council is my guest here. Ron, you ready to take a call?
Yes, I am.
You bet. Let's go here. Let's go to Dana. He's been waiting on the hold here. Dana, thanks for holding. What's on your mind today?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I was listening to you talk about petroleum, and oil and gas prices. And it seems to me, and everyone I've talked to knows this also, we have enough oil reserves or oil resources in our country to take care of ourselves, plus parts of the world. And instead of developing ours, they're using this carbon capture as an excuse, because I have yet to hear what the terrible thing is about carbon. And then they want to shut this coal and oil down for their electric cars and whatnot. But, now they're tapping the Federal Reserve. So I want to know if the Biden administration, in concert with the green energy people, they're trying to see just how weak and vulnerable they can make our country. So if something like what's happening in Ukraine would ever pop up, we'll be the ones sitting on the interstate with tanks out of fuel. And, right now, don't say it could never happen, because Ukraine thought that too. And also with the ethanol, they were on and said they could ramp up tomorrow and, produce more to bring the prices back down. And this administration is just stonewalling all of us. So Ron, for you guys that are in control of this, don't let them push us around like this. We are still the majority power in this country, and unless you guys cater to their whims, we're kind of up the creek here. It's not a little issue.
Well, Dan, I'm not sure, but you might have been listening to Scott and I talk offline.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist most times, but I tell you what, they have done nothing from the Biden administration other than to appear to me to want to push up energy prices to make their agenda work. And
Ron,
look at the rest of the world. Yeah, go ahead.
You say conspiracy theory. There's a big difference between a conspiracy theory and reality to what's happening. Reality is right in your face. It's not a thinking thing. It's there. So
I think you're right, and that's accurate, because it's not a conspiracy when day after day for 15 months, every action they have taken is to try to diminish the utilization of fossil fuels, discourage production, agriculture. We're all in this together in North Dakota, ag and energy. They have taken every step that you could possibly take we were 17 months ago, or whatever the number is, we're the largest oil and gas producing country in the world. We took care of that in less than 1 year. We gave that title up, and you look now at where Europe needs its energy supply from. It needs its energy supply from America, and if we can supply our friends and allies with energy, and get them off OPEC and off Russian energy, and quit feeding them money instead of feeding it here. But boy, I tell you what, the progressive left agenda must be super strong, because every day I see that the Biden administration doubles down on their. They haven't once really done anything substantial here in the last month and a half to try and encourage and produce more energy. They announced yesterday late in the day they're going to hold one federal lease sale, which in North Dakota you've got all these private tracts with a small federal acreage underneath them. You can't drill them if you don't have a federal lease. So they announced for the first time in 5 quarters they're going to hold a lease sale. They did it quietly, but the law is very clear. You have to hold these lease sales. So that's been holding up activity. So they just keep doubling down.
Yep.
I heard that also, Ron, that they were opening up those federal leases. Well, see, that's another joke in itself too. They're not helping any of the independent leaseholders, and they want to make it so that they get the oil for free, and then keep charging the big price. Because nobody else makes money off it except the federal government. So,
yeah, they opened up the lease sale, but then they substantially increased the royalty rate on those leases. So, Scott, how would that work out in your neck of the woods? Would you get more cattle production out of that, or less?
Not at all. That wouldn't help me one bit. Yeah, exactly. Well, Dana, I appreciate you calling in. Yeah, thank you, Dana.
Thank you, guys.
One thing that on his carbon discussion, carbon is, the fact of the matter is the world wants cleaner energy, and I'm a believer that North Dakota is well positioned to provide cleaner energy.
Yeah.
And it's probably the only way our coal plants are going to survive. And certainly, the real issue has become that the investor banks, Wall Street, and others only want to invest in that cleaner energy aspect. So that has been really a crushing blow to the fossil fuels energy, and all designed, by the way, as Dana says, as part of the agenda. But the reality is, I think consumers do want cleaner energy, but I think we can provide it in North Dakota. That's the difference.
Absolutely. Text message comes in and says, I just wish they would push E30 or renewable fuels more if they were really concerned about the environmental and fossil fuels. That comes from a legislature down in South Dakota.
Well, I think you got to look at the energy efficiency of ethanol at 10%, ethanol at 15%. And by the way, the 15% ethanol wasn't allowed because of emission issues in the summer months. So this administration is so concerned about emissions and carbon, but yet you kind of contradict yourself by doing that. And I think ethanol and oil and agriculture are all in this deal together as well. So, but you continue to push, the electric vehicle agenda, which, we had that discussion on how you get that energy extremely disruptive on the environment. And of course, we're outsourcing all of our purchasing power to China then when you do that.
Yeah, I'm going to bring hunting and it's definitely part of the energy, and ag and hunting all work together. A text from Wayne Muth here. He says, good morning, Ron. He says, I've seen a fair amount of deer and pheasant yesterday, and he's hoping they weathered the storm. He said he's been seeing some, so that's good.
Well, Wayne, that's bringing a big smile to my face today. So it's just amazing that these animals can weather through the storm. So that's really great news. So.
Yeah. And a follow-up text on the E30. He says E30 is the premium. He wasn't talking about the 10 or the 15, I guess. So he just wanted to clarify that.
The reality on the pheasant side, Scott, was that, when you look at all the harsh winters and that we've been through over the last number of decades when we've had good pheasant numbers, by far the most devastating thing to pheasants in southwestern North Dakota was the drought over the past 2 years. Those nests and those chicks need moisture and the bugs that come with that. So we were going to need some moisture, or else our pheasant population was in big trouble. And just go to Mott, how long.
So
and
Ron, I could have swore that you were going to say the toughest thing on pheasant over the last couple of years was my shotgun skills.
Well, there's a little bit truth to that, but you do know enough to just shoot the boys, not the girls. So
I know. Oh, no, it's good times. I enjoyed that. I got to get out upland. I used to do a lot of upland bird hunting, and when you start taking up archery, I kind of lost sight of doing that. Now I want to get back into it a little bit more. So got to do that.
Well, I'll find a way to get down there. We'll take care of those few of those pesky grouse for you this year. Maybe.
That's what I was going to say. Where's the grouse hunters anymore? Now I understand the grouse, when pheasant were introduced and pheasant started rising, and all of a sudden that was the game bird to go after. Nobody, I don't see hardly any grouse hunters anymore. Where are they at?
And the grouse numbers have been good. I've been hunting a few more because I probably have time without so many high school sports, but I still struggle to there's a lot of people that know how to cook a grouse and make it really great, but it's just it's a struggle for me.
I'm not one of those guys, I'll tell you that. So here's some public land. I had a text message last week, Ron, and I'm looking into this a little bit more, and just get your opinion on this here. On Onyx, the mapping app hunting app that you have on your phone. Mm-hmm. I use Base Map just for some other reasons, but anyway. Have you heard of the Corner Locked Report?
No.
Okay. So in a lot of areas in the West, the private land and public land are checkerboarded, especially in the rougher country. And on this report here, and I'm going to do more research on this, but the biggest, I guess, the whole thing that it comes down to is in October of last year, there were 4 hunters that were cited for criminal trespass. And this is in Wyoming. What they did was, when they got to the corner, all 4 corners, what they did to get across over to the other public land is they put up one of those little giant ladders, and they went from over the top of it, so they never, ever stepped foot on the private land, but they got cited for criminal trespass because it was in, quote unquote, the private land airspace. And so this is going to be going to court here in this month. Actually, here the trial's set for mid-April. Actually, probably going on right now. But when it comes to public land versus private land, they said there's so many of these private landowners that don't allow access, and I see that. But I think there's plenty of them. If you would just talk to them, I think they would. I really do. I mean, if you talk to them in a nice way. I mean, Wayne and all these other people that they contact me well ahead of time instead of the day of opening season that they want to hunt, and make that relationship. So, are we seeing a lot of this land locked up or unaccessible to a lot of hunters out there?
Well, I think in today's world, you really want to know who's on your land, don't you, Scott?
Absolutely.
With all the bad stuff that can happen and all of those things, I just think that the electronic posting is fine. It's a good step, but man, I just can't imagine not wanting to know just who's on your land. And I think by and large, if you're polite and you work at it, that's the other thing. You got to work at it. You want to go out. Now's the time, right? A lot of ranchers out there could use an extra hand. I'll be going out to help one of my. I've already committed myself to a couple of days to one of my good buddies who owns a ranch out by my place, and I go out and help him for a day or two. And you know what? Then when I need something, he might help me. But more importantly, it's just great to spend time with him. So, but now's the time to get out there. You've got 6-7 months here, and you're worrying about airspace, pore space. I could go into. We'd need a whole other show for me to talk about airspace and pore space and who owns what. And you can fly a drone over that space, and if you don't do any damage, you don't have to compensate the landowner. But surface owner does own the airspace and the pore space. But again, if you don't do any damage to it, it's, Delta doesn't send you a check every time they fly over your place. I don't think so.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of, our grouse discussion where I'm getting a lot of people that are very anti-grouse. I mean, like Wayne.
Yeah, I would agree with you. You try and find somebody to go grouse hunting with you. It's a challenge. But I really started to enjoy it again, and maybe it's because the pheasant numbers have been down, but it's a great opportunity and really good for young dogs.
Yes.
Old dogs pick it up pretty quick, and but great way to get out. And the other thing about grouse hunting, Scott, you kind of know the area they're in, but you don't know where they are. So you just got to settle in and walk. You'll find them.
And it's a surprise, and you got to be fast. If you're a good grouse hunter, it's makes your pheasant hunting so much easier.
Right. I agree completely.
Yeah. And so Wayne Muth, he says that the synonym of the word grouse is flying carp. And then Jesse responds back, he's like, grouse, it's a delicacy. So you got people that like it as well, I guess. So Ron, 3 minutes left of the program. What is going on in the energy world that's helping the outdoor side of things on the hunting and fishing?
Well, number one, Scott, I think that, what's happened to, repopulate and re-energize and bring the youth back to Western North Dakota, a lot of opportunities. You look at the wildlife events and the fundraisers, and the schools are full with kids shooting. Watford City's got an incredible new archery gun range facility up there. North Dakota needed a boost of young people and entrepreneurs, and all circles around opportunity. And I think no question the Bakken has brought that opportunity back to North Dakota, and what we all do with it is up to all of us. But great outdoor opportunities. People move to places like North Dakota, and one of the things that keeps them here are the outdoors. So we've got to all do what we can to make our outdoors work. We got to help those farmers and ranchers, and those are the things that I think I'm the most proud of what we're trying to do every day.
So I had a rumor, and I don't know if you are dabbling into this, but you're talking to people a lot more than I do about energy and different things. There's a rumor going around of a uranium mine. Do you know anything about this?
There is some uranium mining going on in Saskatchewan.
Okay. I heard a rumor it may be close to my area that they're planning another mine.
Yeah, I have not seen that,
okay.
Scott.
Okay.
I would just finish with, though, man, do we need workers. There are incredible job opportunities. I met with one of the completion crews, Liberty Oilfield Services, the other day, and 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. These are 6-figure jobs, great benefits, and they went to 2 weeks off because it really allows you to settle in and have half your year. On the 2 weeks on, 1 week off, or 3 weeks and 1 week, you just didn't really get settled that second week, and they found that they weren't getting the family type people. But 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off is where industry is going in western North Dakota. Incredible job opportunities. The starting wages are going up by the week out there right now because we need people. We got energy to make, but we just need to have more people again.
Are they finding any qualified workers? I mean, that actually want to work and put the time in?
Actually, ran into a guy in the airport in Minneapolis the other day. He was trying to get back. He was helping neighbors drill that carbon well in Beulah.
Okay.
But he'd been working in South Texas, and he says, my crew is so sick of South Texas. They're moving the whole crew up here. He said, so,
Really?
it was easy to lose people to Texas in December and January this year, but I think some of these workers enjoy it up here and they want to come back. So yeah, I think people come from all over the country, but we need to get more North Dakotans out there and more opportunities and understand incredible career opportunities. You can rise up so fast, and we're not going anywhere. This Bakken's going to be here for well past my grandchildren's, which I don't have any yet. Lifetime, I would say.
Yeah. Well, Ron, I always appreciate you making time to come on. If people have questions, comments, they want to, contact you and discuss even for the tree planting, how do they get in touch with you?
Just go to North Dakota Petroleum Council or North Dakota Petroleum Foundation and look us up. You can reach out to me at Ron Ness at ndoil.org, Ron Ness at ndoil.org. So have a great day, Scott, and hope the best for that herd of yours there. So,
all right, Ron, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You have yourself a great weekend as well. See ya. Ron Ness, president of the North Dakota Petroleum Council. Once again, my guest. A reminder, the Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch April sale has been moved back 1 week. Also a special guest consignor, Spring Angus, is going to be there as well. Once again, it's moved to April 29th. The Lee Angus Ranch, that sale is going to be moved to May 10th due to these past storms here. So also, Pifers.com, if you're looking at some of the land sales that were coming up, 317 acres in Slope County. There's some in Stark County, all across the Dakota Territory, North, South Dakota, well into the Minnesota side. If you're looking at any of those land sales or equipment auction sales, some of them have been moved due to this storm, and all that information can be found at Pifers.com as well. So there you go. Coming up your way next week, we're going to be talking a little bit more about this trespass issue here. So I get a few people that are text messaging me in saying, well, who's going to be going after these guys and everything? Well, it's the landowner. So we're going to definitely discuss that a little bit more next week. If you want to join in on the conversation or send me information, 701-425-6651. And hopefully we'll bite that bullet next week. Thanks for tuning in. Check out my daily program and all these radio stations plus more, DakotaPrairieOutdoors.com. Have yourself a great weekend. Eat some meat, drink some milk, and have fun shoveling out if you got snow. Well, I should work out that way. 2 weeks off, help me. Yeah, no. How about this, Waylon? You do 2 weeks on, you're 2 weeks off, come here, and on 2 weeks off, I'll go up there and work so I can actually make some money. How's that work out? Stations, thanks for having me once again. Appreciate it. YouTube, have yourself a good one as well. I have chores to do.